Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Security Guard Command. Sorry I haven't posted in a while. I've been extremely busy, a lot of things going on, and also been out of space on my phone, so I haven't been able to record anything. I had to go through and delete a bunch of things. Anyway, I wanted to talk about a topic here, and this topic is security guard tactics, crowd control, divide and conquer. And what I mean by this is controlling a crowd. And I think the first thing we need to do is define what a crowd is. And when you hear the word crowd, you automatically think of a large group of people, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. I think crowd is more or less a reference to density. And what I'm saying here is the density of the number of people in the square footage. So if you take a 3x3 square foot area and you fit 3 people in that area, I think you end up with a crowd. It's very, very, very crowded and tight. I think it also has to do with a ratio, and that ratio is what is manageable to you when you are by yourself as a security guard. And I would say that any more than one person could constitute a crowd for the purpose of this video. So let's say that you've got 2 people waiting in an area that they're not supposed to be waiting in, and you already know that if you ask them to leave, they are not going to want to leave. With that being said, you have to use a little bit of tactics here. And this tactic that I like to use, I call divide and conquer. So you've got 2 people in a room. You've got one who's a smaller person. You got a larger person. The smaller person looks a little timid, a little quiet, and the larger person looks a little bit on, let's say, the meaner side, or maybe they look a little bit harder. Okay. You could go to the bigger person, but you know that when you ask them to leave, they're going to get a little pissed off, or there's a good chance they'll get pissed off, and they're going to resist. So what I recommend doing is approaching the smaller person first and talking to them and give them the full rundown about why no one is allowed to wait in that area, and make sure that the other person can hear what you are saying. Chances are the person that is smaller and looks timid and more quiet is not going to resist. They're going to comply and walk out. You have now reduced the crowd to 1 person. When you turn to this bigger person and ask them to step out as well, they already heard your speech. You increase your chances of that person complying with your request for a couple of reasons. The biggest reason is actually a psychological reason. And this comes down to something that salespeople use to get the sale and to close the deal. And this psychological tactic is called acceptance. And what acceptance is as human beings, it is natural for humans to want to be accepted. It is a part of our evolutionary process. It is a part of our survival. So it is deeply ingrained into who we are as human beings to be accepted. So when you approach that person, they already heard the story. They already saw compliance from another person. If they don't comply, they are not part of society anymore. They are going against it, and that is uncomfortable for human beings. Salespeople use this tactic in a manner like this. Salesperson comes to your door selling, let's say, kitchen knives. And they say to you, well, your neighbor next door, Sally, bought a set of kitchen knives, and your neighbor across the street, Johnny, he bought a set of kitchen knives. Whether this is true or not, what this does is it sets into your brain the idea that if I don't buy these kitchen knives, I'm not going to be as good as Sally and Johnny. And it creates an emotional feeling that you are not going to be accepted, that you're actually going to be rejected in society because you're not doing what everybody else is doing. And so it is, and this speaks to the part of the brain that makes decisions, which doesn't speak in language. It actually speaks in emotion. And so when you create that emotion of not being accepted or being rejected by society because of your behavior, then it automatically pushes them towards making the decision to comply. And so when you approach that smaller person and gain compliance, then it's easier to get the rest of the people to gain compliance, and the effect snowballs. I use this in the hospital, in the waiting room all the time when I've got a number of people that have come in. I've been busy checking in people and I haven't been able to address the people coming in, sitting down. Once there's a crowd, I'll go in and I will look for people who are not patients, and I will then look for the person who appears to be the most compliant and the most timid. And this tactic works almost all of the time for me. It's very effective. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. When you approach somebody or approach a group and you want compliance out of them, and you want the same thing out of everybody, i.e. leave the area, leave the property, what have you. Divide and conquer, guys. Go for the smallest, most compliant person first, and the rest will more than likely follow. And it's very effective. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have some more on crowd control coming out soon. And this is from the security guard's perspective, tactics for crowd control. This would be the first video, and I've got a few more coming. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will catch you later.